So, welcome to Yukon North 61. So, these are 3 rifles that I'm going to be playing with this summer, spring and summer. And they are a titanium 8-bolt mountain in 300 Winchester short magnum on the left, to my Forbes 24B and 30-06, to my really light and short Remington 600 and 6.5 Rem Mag, which now is installed in a Brown Precision 1 pounder. They call it the pounder. This one is 20 ounces with the paint, with the tiny little recoil pad, and with my my action bedding job. It's at about 20 ounces. And all of these are wearing the Judd Parsons sling from Alaska. He makes these slings. I'll show you that in a bit. These are all within ounces of one another as a bear rifle. Now, they're all between 5.5, they're all just over 5.5 pounds. So, depending what scope you put on them, you can have a rifle ready to go at 6.5 pounds or less. So pretty good. Let's take a look at them. First up, we're going to take a look at this Browning Mountain Tie. It's a titanium action. I didn't talk about the action much last time, so that action is titanium. And it's got some of the features of the old. It's a little heavy. It's got bottom metal and it's got a clip. So that is not super light. And if you take a look at how thin that barrel is, they've saved some money on the barrel. But it's still quite accurate. And it's a really fun rifle, 300 Winchester short magnum. And this is our day. If you can see those branches moving, we're having 80 km/h winds. So hopefully we don't lose all of our shingles. So how does this rifle shoot? This rifle shoots between 1 inch and 2 inches with everything I put in it. And a little bit better than 1 inch with some loads. This load here, for example, that is a .970 load. That is with the 150 grain TTSX at 3192 with super performance. And yesterday I got a group that was quite a bit better than that with the same load. Yesterday's group, again, with the 150 grain TTSXs was .625, a little better. Interestingly, both days averaged 3192 feet per second, exactly the same. Really consistent, like very, very close to the same speed. So that super performance load seems to be really balanced. Woohoo! So it's averaging about .65 in that nice little rifle. And pretty powerful. And the advantage of this, a 30-06, I always feel a little bit just on the edge for Bison. I think this 300 Winchester short magnum goes over that by a little bit. So this gun also shoots 200 grain terminal ascents quite well. Really like it. So I'm going to be playing with this rifle and seeing how it shoots right out to 500 yards. Hey, this 30-06 Forbes, I don't need to tell you any more about it. Because this action is 24 ounces, because it's got that super light stock, because it's got no extra little pieces in there, you can have a little heavier barrel. So this gun is consistently accurate. I got 3 of them. This is my favorite, 30-06, stainless, and 3/4 minute angle rifle all day long. And this is new to me. Remington 600. I thought it was too heavy. So I saved 11 ounces by putting it into this stock right here over the factory stock. And I bedded it. I'm having trouble now with the last round feeding. So I think there's more space here. So I'm going to have to play with that because it fed really well out of the wood stock. So there's some change has been made here. I think the spring is going down too far. So I'm going to probably have to put a spacer in the bottom. But again, this is really light. I got a 1 to 6 power scope on. It's too heavy. That scope's too heavy, but I'm really shooting good groups. An example. So that's the first try with 130 grain Sierra Hollow Point boat tails. You know, fairly moderate load. 2776. I do lose a lot of speed out of that short 18.5-inch barrel, but look how handy it is. Look how short that rifle is compared to the Forbes. That rifle will handle right on your shoulder. And even better, this is the second time I got around 0.5 or less with 129 Hornadays. So look at that, 100 grain, 100 yard, 0.280. That's one of the best groups I've ever got. Look at that. You know, that's my little finger. So all in the thumbnail of your little finger. Pretty darn good. So 2 loads right off the bat, well under MOA. So yesterday's group with the same load, this time I loaded them a bit deeper, but I think it's just luck of the draw. It's 0.575. So I'm going to tell you about that Parsons sling. So here it is on the Forbes. Look how easy it is to adjust. You can go from nothing, one-handed. That's really, really handy. I really like the Parson string. Judd Parson, I don't think he's making them commercially yet, but if he ever does, 2 ounces, best mountain sling I've ever seen. And here's the advantage of the 600. These 600 is so short. And this rifle, I don't know what Remington was doing with these barrels, but in the 70s they were making great barrels. I've never had a 600 that wouldn't shoot. And this might be the most exceptional of all, where all those bloody bullets are going in one hole. I don't even know how they do it. And the advantage of a little short rifle is it is under my head. So I can now, if you notice, I can go under stuff and I don't hit the barrel and everything. And it's still getting useful velocities for at least 400 yards, maybe 5. And that 129 grain, even though it's only going at about 2,800 feet per second, it got a ballistic coefficient of 445. It doesn't slow down really quick. So really looking forward to that. I might go bear hunting. But all of these rifles are great. I'm going to play with all of them right out to 500 yards, and I'll take you along. So these are the 3 rifles I'm going to do some work with, this summer. That 30-06 needs no introduction. Go back and look at some stuff. It's a 3/4 MOA rifle all day long. This little titanium shoots surprisingly well for such a pencil barrel. That Browning, I think, makes good barrels too. But this bugger, oh my God, it's like a bench rest shooter. I'm probably going to swap out scopes when I go hunting for a little bit lighter scope, although this Huskama allows me to turret dial. Might be worth carrying a little bit extra weight, and 1-6 looks pretty good on that. It allows me to keep on the open sights. So this 600, got to get it feeding. It fed with the old stock. It's not feeding with this stock. It means I've changed the geometry somehow. I'll figure that out. And what a potential for a one-hole rifle. You know, MOA is good. 3/4 MOA is good, but half MOA for long-range shooting, really, man, that's something to shoot for. All right.